Hello again, Remon Azab here with Team Skunk. Back again, yes, another video. Um, Wanted to go over some mods. Didn't really get a chance to go too in depth into it on my last video because I hadn't done a video in a couple of weeks. I just wanted to kind of, um, put a video out there and go over some of the new things or recent events that have occurred, and didn't really get a chance to, I really just mostly was sharing my feelings about things, showing you guys some, progress on my PvP team, but um, I didn't really get to discuss the mods too specifically, so want to do that now. Um, First and foremost, we have a mod event going on now. So, what they released was, let's see here. Okay, so mod appreciation event. We wanted to thank you all for your feedback on the mods released last week. Yada yada yada. BS BS BS. To thank you for all your feedback. Uh, and patience, we are running a special event this weekend for players level 50 and above. Begins July 22nd, ends July 25th. Each day we're going to receive a gift, uh, which is, uh, I believe, going to be credits. The first day I received 350 credits today. Not sure how much they're going to give us tomorrow or later on today. Um, free mod removal, so we can actually try out some different configurations, take off the mods. So for these couple of days, you can actually take the mods off for free instead of having to pay the cost to save them. And they also increase the chance of immediately increasing a mod's level while upgrading. While the mods were rolled out on the first day, uh, the way they or the word they described it was called the word they used to describe it was called a lucky roll. What that meant was basically that when while you were upgrading your mods, each time you pressed, let's say, you're upgrading uh, level 5 dot or a 5 dot mod, 22.5k credits, there was an opportunity for you to get a lucky roll, which would give you a bonus increase on that mod. So it would just basically give you extra, um, it would raise your level higher than a normal purchase would. So it would basically just advance that mod quicker, and obviously by the end a bit cheaper. So it would cost you less credits if you got a couple of lucky rolls. That occurred a lot more frequently the first 2 days when mods were released, and they basically, from what they said on the forums, negated it to something that was almost, a very rare occurrence. And now I guess they're upgrading it or increasing it. So I'm not sure how frequently you're going to get a lucky roll now, but it should be better than it has been the last few days. Also, they released the Galactic Gear Pack again. So um, this is kind of, I think, sort of an apology, or they're making it like it's a gift, but there were a lot of people, requesting credits back and refunds over the last couple of weeks because of all the changes to the game, and people have also been requesting their credits back so that they can, um, you know, uh, put their uh, credits into mods that they would like to level up now that the mod statistics have changed. Because obviously, being that you're making an investment into a mod based upon the statistics that you see, in some cases, now that the stats have changed considerably from when mods were initially rolled out, a lot of people would like the chance to reallocate some of those funds, and this is their way of doing it. Giving you some credits. We just had the credit heist event yesterday, so that was another million credits you were able to receive if you have a scoundrel team that's capable of fielding or completing that challenge. My scoundrel team is not very strong, but I did mod up because of the free removal of mods. I did mod up my scoundrels a little bit and was able to complete the event. Now, as far as the mods are concerned, let's take a look here. Okay, so I showed you some statistics yesterday. So, really, to understand what mods are in the first place, you got to understand what these statistics mean in the first place, right? So, just to go over some of the basics here for some of you that already know what this is, I'm sure this is going to be kind of mundane, but I just want to go over, obviously health is pretty self-explanatory. It's the lifeblood of the character. Protection is an update that came out a few months ago, which adds additional survivability to the character. That's that second bar, that white bar that's on top of the health bar while you're playing the game. Speed obviously increases the rate at which a character gets to go. That blue bar, which is the turn meter bar, uh, uh, gets uh, obviously filled up faster when you have a higher speed. So the faster the character, the more turns they're going to get to have in a match. Potency, okay, increases the chance to apply detrimental effects to opponents. So you're talking about speed down, critical chance down, um, turn meter reduction. You're talking about healing immunity, buff immunity. I mean, any type of negative effect that you can put on a character is um, is uh, 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 is going to land more frequently based upon how high your potency is. So the higher the potency you have, the higher chance you have to to uh, 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 to inflict negative status effects on your opponents. Okay, now these with the potency and the tenacity, these things vary based upon whether you're facing an opponent, let's say in a PvP match, like a another person, or if you're facing, let's say, a Rancor or the Captain Gamorrean Guard in, let's say, the raid. Okay, those characters in the raids have a higher tenacity than your average PvP character that you're going to face. So you are going to need increased potency at probably a much higher level to inflict negative effects on um, those characters inside the raid than you will against characters that you face in a PvP match or against your shard mates. So it's potency is very important. Tenacity it increases the chance to ward off detrimental effects. So the higher your tenacity, the less well, the less likely you are to get negative status effects put on your characters. So if you're facing, let's say, for example, an old Ben that puts tons of negative status effects on your team, the higher your tenacity, the less likely you are to get those negative effects. That's why characters like Yoda that give tenacity up, Rex that give tenacity up, these characters can help shield you from those negative status effects because tenacity up gives you a significant tenacity increase. And um, it works. Most of the time, I have seen tenacity up be dispelled by B2, so I'm not exactly sure how that mechanic works 100%, but I know that again, tenacity is the ability to ward off negative effects. Now, obviously, damage is going to be based upon your offense, your um, your critical chance is going to be increased, or your crit chance will be increased. So what that does is basically it it's the chance that you have to deliver a critical hit on an opponent. Okay, so as you can see here, General Grievous is at the 50.13 critical chance. And with the mods, his crit chance has increased 12%. So prior to the mods, he was at closer to 38%. Um, now, just to also go over critical damage, right now I don't have any crit damage mods on General Grievous at this moment, but the crit damage mods would increase that 150% to a higher level. Okay, so if you had, let's say, an additional some of the mods. One of the mods that you can get is a 36% increase to critical damage. That would bring that critical damage up to 180%. And what that means is basically every time you do crit, you're going to increase that damage that you get from that critical hit. So that's just basically the basics of what these statistics mean, so that you're aware when you're placing these mods on the characters what you're actually increasing and decreasing based upon these statistics. So, for example, here, okay, I've chosen to go with a speed set and a health set, okay, and what that means is these mods that you purchase with, or these mods that you get with a speed base, or like let's say a speed set mod, uh, once combined with three other speed set mods to make a total of four speed set mods, will give you a 10% speed bonus overall. Okay, different sets have different amounts that are necessary. So, speed mods, for example, um, need four, like I said. Now, if you're looking at health mods give you an increase of 5% health. Now, this is based upon the max set bonus and a regular set bonus. Okay, so a max set bonus would be if all the mods in that set are at level 15. If anything is less than level 15, it's going to be plus 2.5% health, for example. Same thing goes with every other set. Most sets need two to complete the set, except for critical damage, offense, and speed. So critical damage, offense, and speed all need four mods to complete this set, and they all need to be at level 15 to get the max set bonus. Okay, so that's how these set bonuses work. They have nothing to do with the actual statistics on the mods. Okay, so the set bonuses are completely separate from that, and what these do is just on top of the statistics that you're getting on the mods, they increase the percentage of these specific statistics. So, for example, if you're adding tenacity, okay, if you have 30% tenacity right now, and you put two tenacity set mods on a character, whether the stats on there are defense, protection, critical chance, critical damage, whatever the stats on the mods are, is irrelevant. What you will get from those two tenacity base set mods is going to be 10% tenacity. So whatever the statistics are, you'll add those stats that are on the mods, plus you'll bump your 30% tenacity up to 40% tenacity. So that obviously can help out a lot, because an increase in tenacity will, again, as we said earlier, reduce the chances for you to get negative status effects. So if you're running, let's say, a droid team like I am, I happen to have put tenacity mods on my IG-86 because he gets stunned quite frequently. He gets a lot of negative status effects, from a lot of the old Ben teams that I face. So I tried to increase his tenacity a little bit to see if that would help, him get to go more frequently. Now, the speed sets are obviously a great way to go. I have a personal feeling that the best mod sets that are going to be going forward are going to be the potency mods, the speed mods, and the crit damage mods. Obviously, crit chance is also okay, but you have to see, you want to look at what the max set bonuses are for these statistics. Okay, plus 5% health really isn't doing a whole lot for you. Okay, plus 5% defense, again, also in my opinion a waste. Okay, plus 30% critical damage, that is a significant increase. Okay, that is worth it. Okay, now that you do need four mods for that, so you are taking up four spaces for that. But I would rather have plus 30% critical damage from four mods than plus 10% health from four mods, if that makes sense. I would rather have plus 30% critical damage from four mods than, if you're looking at critical chance here, plus 10% critical chance from having four critical chance mods out there. Same goes um, for for speed. 10% is not as great as the set bonus was prior to the nerf. But if if speed is probably one of the most important statistics in the game, So you want to have speed mods. I decided to go with speed mods first because I had a complete resistance team, and it was going to be easier for me to complete that right off the bat. And I wanted to be able to farm a bunch of mods before they nerfed the the actual drop rate of the mods. So I was able to procure a ton of speed mods, and that's what I'm putting on some of these characters. Plus, to be honest, my droids, without the, obviously they get turn meter from HK lead, but I want to make them as fast as possible. So I wanted to put speed sets on all of them. Eventually, I will be transferring some of those sets to critical damage sets once I'm once I've completed, maxing out my Jawa team. That's also part of the reasons that I'm a part of the reason that I'm working on these Jawas is to complete the critical damage um, mod challenge at 3 star for tier 3, so I can get the plus 30% critical damage sets. That's going to be huge. So again, some of these things are incremental bonuses, and some of them are significant bonuses. Now, you're talking about for characters that need potency, let's say like a Tebow, or if you're running we've noticed that we've seen that a Dengar is going to be great, inflicting tenacity down. 10% potency 3 times would give you an additional 30% potency, and that's not including all the potency that you get from inside the mod. So if you have a potency mod that also has a primary statistic of potency, that will also increase the potency altogether. So you'll have a ton of extra potency. So you can really increase your potency significantly if you're putting a lot of potency mods. Now, I wouldn't necessarily suggest putting 3 potency mods on a character, but if you want a character to have increased potency, let's say, increased critical damage, you can use the four critical damage mods to increase their critical damage plus 30% and give them plus 10% potency. That would complete the 6 mods total. And then on top of that, you have the ability to add other statistics as need be based upon what the statistics are for each particular mod. Okay, so now let's look at the actual mod stats themselves. For example, here with Grievous, I gave him plus 12% critical chance as a primary stat on that triangle piece. Okay, that secondary stat for that also has a 5.4% potency. So that's pretty cool because on top of the critical chance, he's also getting 5.4% potency on that mod. Now, again, some of these mods are interesting. They're very good. This mod's okay. I would say that if I came across another mod that had speed and critical damage, I'd probably transfer this mod for a crit damage primary stat with speed and let's say potency or speed. I've seen some secondary stats that have plus 20 speed. So the max speed you can get, and the only mod that actually gives speed is this triangle piece here. Okay, this gives you plus 30 speed, and that's the max speed you can get from a mod right now. But I have seen mods that go up to 20 as a secondary statistic. For example, here on this mod, I have plus 17 speed. Okay, so that is pretty excellent for a defense mod. Okay, so now you're talking about having plus 11.75% defense, which again, I don't think too much of defense. You just unfortunately have to have that as a primary stat for that diamond-shaped mod. The only primary stat that comes out for some reason with that mod is a defense. I guess they just force you to do it that way so you don't have all offense mods. But that's a great secondary stat for that mod because again, plus 17 speed is just 13 short of the max speed that you can get from any mod, and only these arrow mods can give you that plus 30 speed. So that's excellent. Now, there are mods that give you 23.5% protection, and there are mods that give you, for example, um, health percentage. And the max health percentage that they give you as a primary stat is 5.88% health. Now, when you're talking about deciding whether you're going to put a primary stat 23.5% protection or a primary stat 5.8% health, to me, makes no sense to put a health primary stat out there, because 5.8% health is garbage in comparison to 23.5% protection. I would rather have three 23.5% protection mods on a character to just juice up his protection than to have 15% or in total maybe 17.5% health increase. Now that can change based upon characters. Like there are characters that get their health back. Okay, so for example, Ahsoka, Darth Maul, they heal themselves with attacks. So the more health they have, the more they can heal themselves. But again, I'm not worried about uh, uh, characters being able to replenish their health. I'm more concerned about characters getting into that health bar whatsoever. I'm trying to prevent them from even getting that far. So protection increase is much more significant. So I think it's a better bang for your buck, you could say. Now, when you're talking about you know, other stats, I mean, I have here, plus offense. That's the max offense primary stat you can get. But the thing to notice here is, look at these secondary stats, okay? Plus 1.68% health, plus 3.15% protection, plus 2.29% defense, plus 6.07% potency, plus 0.84% health, plus 5.4% potency. All these mods, if you can, if you catch the drift here, are completely different. Okay, so you don't know; they're all a mixed bag. You don't know what you're going to get. In some cases, you do know because you have colors. So how the color system works is like this, right? So if you get a mod that already has a color on it, so let's say it's uh, green, for example, like this one, or blue, okay, or it's got no color, for example, like this. The higher the color of the mod, the more information about the mod that you know prior to making an investment in that mod. Okay, so for me to find out what secondary stats I have on this mod here, obviously the primary stat's 1.25% defense. For me to find out what the primary statistic would be, I would have to make an upgrade to this mod. Okay, with this mod here, I already know going in that my secondary statistic, the first one at least, is going to be plus health. Okay, now that may get higher. We don't know. We're going to find out that based upon an upgrade. Okay, but I know it's plus health. Okay, now with a blue, okay, I can see that it's plus health and plus tenacity. Okay, so the blue mods actually give you the secondary statistic. Now, if you want to go to the other colors here, for example, let's look at a level 1 purple mod if I have any. Okay, so here's a purple mod. Okay, now the purple mod gives you 3 statistics. Okay, so right off the bat, you already know what the first 3 secondary stats are going to be from a purple mod when it gets dropped at a level 1 purple, right? So I know it's going to be plus defense, plus health, plus potency, and plus defense. Okay, I don't have any yellows, but actually no, I don't have any yellows. I don't think so. Yellows are the rare ones, but yellows, okay, when they drop yellow or gold, whatever you want to call it, the gold ones actually give you all the secondary statistics. So you'll know off the bat, right before you make any investment in the mod, whether it's worth it or not, based upon what stats you're going to get. So you can, again, you're not going to know what the max secondary stat is going to be. I've had statistics that start off as plus 4 speed, and then by the end it's plus 12 speed. Okay, so you don't know. It could have ended at plus 7 speed. It could have stayed at plus 4 the whole time. You don't know until you're done leveling up the mod. But at least I have a guideline, something to look at, to have some sort of foresight to tell whether this mod is worth pumping credits into. Because again, credits are a limited resource in this game. As you can see, I have 37.3k credits right now. You want to make sure you're investing in the right mods, because a lot of these mods are not worth investing in. Listen, I got a ton here, okay, and a ton of them are not going to get touched, okay. But some of them I won't know, okay. For example, this here, 2.5% protection, secondary stats, none yet, right? So I won't know if this mod is worth it until I spend some money on it. But that's a chance you got to take. What I do sometimes is I'll level up the mods, for example, to like level 4. As you see, I've done here a couple of times. I'll just try to get an idea of what the second stat is. That's really not even telling me too much. I mean, because, even though the secondary stat here could be 1.77% critical chance, the next stat after that could be speed. And I may not jump into that because I don't like the fact that the primary stat is health, right? And I may not find out that this mod actually has plus 20 speed at the end, because I didn't spend the credits to upgrade it, okay? Because I didn't know and I didn't make that investment. So a lot of it is chance and just kind of, taking the information that's given to you and trying to make the best logical choice. It also depends on what your characters need. Some characters need speed. Some characters are already fast, but they need damage. Some characters need potency because they, inflict detrimental effects, and you need them to stick at a higher rate. Some characters need more critical damage because they already have a ton of critical chance, but their critical damage could use an increase. Every character needs different statistics. Okay, and every character also needs different statistics based upon the team that they're running in. So if you're going to be running a speed team, then maybe you want to put speed mods on your characters. If you're going to be running a team that has high crit chance, then maybe you want to run critical damage mods because you already have high crit chance. Why not increase the damage that you get from those critical hits? So it's a lot of thinking. It definitely adds another whole level to the game, which is really cool because, I mean, prior to this, you really once you maxed out a character, you're really just playing on an even playing field with anybody else that's maxed out that same character. There's no diversity in the characters. Now you have the ability to play around with these characters to a point where almost every character is going to be completely different from your neighbor's character. So, my General Grievous is not going to be like anybody else's General Grievous out there. My Jawa Engineer is not going to be the same as anybody else's Jawa Engineer. Unless they get the exact same mods with the exact same secondary statistics, and I feel like that's probably going to be impossible. So it's really cool. It really adds like a whole new level to customization in this game, and really gives you, the player, the ability to maximize the characters that you want to maximize. Okay, I, for one, have been a huge proprietor of Darth Maul. Okay, Darth Maul has not been the greatest character to use. So, I mean, to be honest with you, I was not a huge fan of the fact that they have not given an update to Maul or any kind of increase to his abilities, but for some reason they've chosen not to. But now I don't have to wait for them. I can upgrade Maul to make him whatever I want to, and I haven't done that yet. I will eventually, but you can make any of these characters that you like better in any way that you want to make them better based upon the mods that you get. So if you want a faster Maul, I can make Maul faster. If I want a Maul, if I want a Maul to stay slower, make him just a little bit faster and give him a ton of more power, a ton of more damage, I can do that. You can do anything that you want. So it really puts the power in the player's hands. So although I understand people's frustrations and obviously, not being a huge fan of the fact that some of the power has been taken out of your hands, I do, with the changes that were made, I do think overall the mods update has been a great one. So I don't think that uh, there's any need to be upset about that. Now, um, I guess I'm getting a client restart here. So I'm trying to lock into my Wi-Fi here. But overall, just saying that you have a ton of opportunity with this to customize your characters in any way that you like, and really just kind of take the game into your own hands and make it what you want it to. And like I said, while I understand there's a lot of people upset about the fact that they're not going to be able to maybe have the stats that we initially had when mods first came out, I still think that these new updates are pretty good. So I mean, you're not, although they're not as juiced up as, let's say, adding what the stats were before, like hundreds of speed. They're still, you could still increase a character's stats significantly and make them very effective, even if they weren't an effective character before. Not exactly sure what's happening here with this update. Doesn't seem to be moving at all. I hope this is still recording. Let's see if I can get a fix on this. Still no Wi-Fi. Okay, let's see if we can get this client restart going here. All right, so I got nothing. That's great. It would have been nice to see a client restart that maybe gave me, some more credits or something. But still, overall, like I said, I mean, I'm happy with the update. I'm not so happy with the way it was initially rolled out because it kind of, teased you a bit. But um, just wanted to go over, what mods are, in general, and just what the statistics mean, and what you can do to customize some of these characters that you have. Obviously, you can see I've made some characters that were deemed unusable in the past, viable now. General Grievous was not a character you could use in PvP, and let me check. Pretty sure I'm probably still sitting at rank 1 right now. This is working really slow. Yeah, and I am. So, you have tons of different options. Let me go ahead and do a match here while I have here. Let me see. We'll go after the old Ben lead here. I'll do. Let's go for chopsticks. Really, something is just acting up here tonight. I don't understand what's going on, but anyway, I'm gonna leave it at that because something's acting up with this game, and I don't feel like dealing with it right now. To be honest with you, this is just annoying. But if you guys have any questions whatsoever, or if you like the video, like, comment, subscribe. Again, if you would like to, join us, you can always come down to lordskunk.com or teamskunk.com and join us on Discord. You can send me a private message and ask me any questions that you like. If you'd like to see anything on my next video, I believe I will be doing a top 10 at some point during the week this week. And I'd like to start rolling out some more videos a bit more frequently than I have been. So hope you liked it. And again, thanks for checking it out. If you have any questions, like I said, just feel free to write them in the comments section below. Thanks, and again, have a great night.